Start off with a 23 centimeter piece of 1.6 millimeter stainless steel spring steel. Next up, you will start by making your closing part of your slide, bending it. This is what your wire should look like at this stage. You now insert it into your jig once again. Make about a 45-degree bend into your wire. Using your pliers and another piece of 1.6 millimeter, close your latch for your slide. You will now start making a spiral part of your slide. You'll be using this jig, spiral jig, and a 7 millimeter drill bit, and it will lock here with a very small 2 millimeter drill bit. Slide your piece of wire into the spiral jig and lock it on a 2 millimeter drill bit. Start turning your spiral part of your slide. 4 turns is a standard on the slide. Once you've reached your 4th turn, it should overlap your starting piece by this much. It should be looking like this. Slide your whole slide with the spiral piece off, turn it around, slide it back onto your drill bit, where it will lock onto your 2 millimeter small locking drill bit. Once you've locked it into place, take the longest piece of your steel, bend it backwards so it will align with your front piece. Slide everything off the drill bit. Take your spiral jig and screw it out of your slide. Using a plier, this you will have to get used to. You need some bit of practice. Get the right distance and bend your slide over. Next up, you slide a bead onto the slide, which will sit snugly underneath your 4 turns of your spiral. You will slide your sinker onto your slide, which will vary from a 1/4 ounce to a 3/4 ounce depending on your need. Using another jig with two 4 millimeter drill bits, slide the end of your slide through the two 4 millimeter drill bits. Start bending the eyelet for your slide by going around one of the 4 millimeter drill bits. Slide the eyelet off the 4 millimeter drill bit, turn it around, slide it back onto your 4 millimeter drill bit, and make a small bend just to straighten the slide. Your slide's eyelet should look like this at this stage. Slide number 1 power swivel into the eyelet. Using your plier, bend the one piece of the eyelet a bit off center. Now, using the plier, close the eyelet so it crosses the original part of the eye. Once again, the plier, take it and you put your end part of your eyelet back to the center. This and is now ready for silver soldering. What you're going to need now to do the silver soldering is a butane lighter, gas lighter thing. It works with normal gas lighter fluid, and you can get it from a Space Shop. Space Shop is selling them at about $100. It's relatively cheap. This one is a more advanced one, which will cost you about $400 to $500. What you'll also need is a silver soldering stick. This you will buy at a welding shop. It's a 40% silver soldering stick with the flux coating around it. This makes life much easier, as you don't have to worry about mixing flux or carrying anything extra to do your silver soldering. You also need a small container of water. This you will use after you have silver soldered your slide. Once it is still hot, you will throw it into the water, and this will take the flux that is still left on your slide off immediately. You will now take your silver soldering stick and your flame and evenly heat up the silver soldering stick and the flame and the slide at the same time. The flux will drop onto the slide, which will clear it from any debris. And I'll take this is what your slide should look like when the eyelet is finished silver soldering. Take your slide, drop it into the water. This will take the excess flux off your slide. Now take your plier, make your bend into your slide, which is required. This is your finished product. This can also be done with 1.6mm thick wire, stainless steel thick wire, but it will not be as strong as stainless steel. Using a 12mm bolt and 2.4mm stainless steel thick wire, you will now start making your end rings. Start by taking the wire and winding it in a spiral around your bolt. I've got a small bolt cutter which I use, but you can use also a decent side cutter. Start cutting your spiral into rings. Using two pliers, open your ring a little bit. Slide your number 1 power swivel onto the ring, and then once again using two pliers, close the ring